So guys, in our last lecture we have discussed about conditions of deriving three equations of motion and about graph required for deriving those three equations of motion. As we have already discussed that body should be moving with uniform velocity and body should be moving with uniform acceleration, and also body must be moving in linear motion so that we can derive these equations. Now I have refined this graph. Last time I didn't show those values which this graph does possess. So name the points O, A, B, C, D and E. At point O, X and Y both have zero values, while at A, at A what we have is, at A we have for X we have 0, and for Y we have also for X we have T, and for Y we have this 0. uh, okay, so again we have these points in which we have B, B have T in x-axis and Vi on y-axis, then C which has T in x-axis and Vf on y-axis, and D which have 0 on x-axis and Vf on y-axis, and E which have 0 on x-axis and Vi on y-axis. Basically this Vi is the initial velocity with which body will start its motion constantly. After a certain time it would change its velocity and reach some velocity Vf. So first we have to derive first equation of motion. For this we must know that slope of graph will give acceleration. Now we have to choose that area in which acceleration is actually produced. So considering the graph in line EV, no acceleration is produced, but if you see the line EC, acceleration is produced because velocity is being changed. So we must know what is the formula for calculating slope of any graph. So we have formula y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1 respectively to points of point number 2 and 1. In this graph we have named points E and C. So consider C at point number 2 and consider E as point number 1. So yc minus ye divided by xc minus xe. At yc, which is the y-axis of point C, we can see that it consists of Vf. And if you consider ye, which is actually y-axis of point E, it has Vi. And if you consider xc, which is actually x-axis of point C, it has T. And if you consider x-axis of point E, it has 0. So putting this value into formula of slope, we have A equals to this Vf minus Vi. Okay, so Vf minus Vi. Vf minus Vi, and dividing by x-axis, xc is T and xe is 0. So we have made this equation T minus 0. So what we will get is actually A equals to Vf minus Vi and T, because T minus 0 will be T. So as we know, T is dividing here, so it will go on the other side of equality and will multiply with A. This will give you AT equals to Vf minus Vi. After that we know that if Vi is moved from right hand side to left hand side of equation, it will change its sign from minus to plus. So what we will have is this is equal to at plus vi. Arranging the whole equation, we will get is this f equals to this vi and plus at. So here is our first equation of motion. You could change color of the answer. So here is our equation. Vf is equal to vi plus at. Thank you for watching this video, and do subscribe next lecture, because next lectures are about second equation and then third equation and onwards to your derivation with respect to your